Unstable. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Are you listening me, students? Please reply. Are you hearing me clearly? Okay, very good of you. Miss Aisha, Miss Aisha, वो आवाज बंद करना. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Now I am going to start another lecture today. I'm Ms. Zafin Imran. You all know me very well. Today the lecture is of English literature and it is lecture number 46. The topic or the lesson is health problems caused by mosquitoes. It is the lesson given in your textbook and it is included in your syllabus. The topic is related to different diseases caused by mosquitoes. Okay, now I am reading the topics or the pages from the book. First of all, I want to explain them. Listen to me very carefully. There are 3 diseases given and their causes, their signs and symptoms are given in your lesson. And these are very common diseases nowadays: malaria, dengue and chikungunya. These 3 diseases are very much common and these all 3 diseases are caused by mosquitoes. You all know that mosquitoes are present everywhere because of different conditions, because of unhygienic conditions. They are present everywhere and they cause these 3 diseases. Their symptoms and signs are little bit similar. The symptoms of all these diseases are so similar that it can be quite difficult to identify them for sure without laboratory testing. It means their symptoms are similar so that these can be identified by the laboratory test. But it is important to find out what the exact disease is for it to be properly treated. It means first of all it has to be found out that which disease is there by the laboratory testing, and after that the disease can be treated. Now please don't write your names in the chat box for your attendance. I will take your attendance afterwards, so please don't disturb the class. Let us try and understand something about the causes, signs and symptoms, similarities and differences, and the prevention of these diseases. It means in this lecture, we will cover the causes, signs, symptoms, similarities and differences, and also the prevention of these diseases. Okay, we are discussing them one by one. The first disease is malaria. Malaria is the most common of all 3. The causes of malaria is that malaria is caused by Plasmodium. Plasmodium is actually a single-celled parasite often transmitted by infected mosquitoes. Actually, mosquitoes are having the parasite in their bodies. And when they bite the person, then they transfer this Plasmodium into the body of the human being. It is injected into a person's circulatory system through the saliva of the mosquito. When the mosquito bites a person, its saliva enters into the person's circulatory system directly. And you all know that blood runs through the circulatory system. So the Plasmodium enters the circulatory system, or you can say in the blood. Are you listening me very clearly? Okay, now listen to me. I have told you that malarial parasite, or you can say the plasmodium, enters the blood of the patient or the. Are you listening me? Please tell me again, because there was some problem in the internet connection. So please reply me again so that I will continue my lecture. Okay, very good of you, Adil and Dua. You have replied me, Nida. Very good of you. Now we were discussing about the causes of malaria. Now I come to the detail how the parasite, how the plasmodium infects the red blood cells. When it enters, the parasite enters the red blood cells of the human body, that is the blood, that it infects the red blood cells until they burst. Okay, they infect red blood cells so much that they, after some time, they burst. Then the newly developed plasmodium from the burst red cells spreads and infects more red blood cells throughout the body. Actually, what happened inside the red blood cells when parasite infects it, it reproduces inside it, and then the cell bursts and it kills the cell actually, and then the newly developed plasmodium from the burst red cells, it spreads and infects other red cells present there throughout the body, thus killing all the cells. It means it kills one by one all the cells. This can lead to severe liver infection. The first of all, the complication is the liver infection. Okay, liver has been infected by the plasmodiums, that is the malarial parasite. These are commonly called as malarial parasites. Sometimes the infected red blood cells become stickier than usual and clot easily. What happens? Sometimes it also happens that red blood cells uh, sometimes the infected red blood cells, if you are not hearing, please reply me. If you have got any problem, then reply me in the chat box. Okay, sometimes the infected red blood cells become stickier than usual and clot easily. Clot means they become uh, closer to each other like a solid object, which can lead to stoppage of blood flow to the brain and causing cerebral malaria. What happened when the blood cells become stickier to each other and they can take the form of a clot? It stopped the flow of blood to go to the brain. You know that blood flows throughout the whole body, and blood goes to different parts of the body and different organs of the body through the arteries, veins and capillaries. So when the blood do not flow or do not go to the brain, does not go to the brain, then it causes the cerebral malaria. That is the malaria of the cerebrum. That is the part of the brain. Now there are some signs and symptoms which are uh, shown by when the patient has got the malaria, and we can recognize the disease by these symptoms. Malaria is recognized through high fever. There should be high fever in the patient who is having malaria. High fever, he has got the high fever, and the temperature may reach as high as 40 degrees centigrade. 37 degrees centigrade is the normal body temperature. You can see that there is a increase in the body temperature. That centigrade is equal to 40 degrees centigrade is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. And the fever is often accompanied by chills, that is shivering. Patient may shiver, and may also include sweating. The patient is sweating as well. Patients, I think you can understand the meaning of shivering, kapna, chills, that is sweating, pasina ana. Patients may also suffer from constipation, kidney dysfunction, and disorientation. Constipation means when the are you hearing me, students? Please reply. Are you there? Please reply. Are you hearing me? Students, are you hearing me? Please reply. Okay, very good of you. Actually, there is a problem of internet, and because of that, there is a continuous disturbance during the lecture. Now, I was discussing about the signs and symptoms of malaria. That is, the patient has got high fever of 40 degrees centigrade, or it is equal to 104 degree Fahrenheit. And there are some more symptoms like chills and sweating. And there is another symptom like constipation, that patient is unable to pass the solid waste from the body. Kidney dysfunction, that means kidneys are not working properly. And disorientation, that there are some other problems with malarial patient. Now I am coming to dengue, another disease which is caused by the mosquitoes. Actually, there are 4 types of dengue viruses. This is a cause. It is not caused by any parasite, any bacteria. It is actually caused by a virus, okay, which is known as dengue virus. I think you are aware about the viruses, that these are very much harmful for us, all of which are spread by mosquitoes. But they are also spread by mosquitoes, that mosquitoes, an infected mosquito spreads the virus through its saliva when it bites. Again, the same thing happened, that the mosquito carries these viruses in their saliva, and when they bite the person, that through the saliva the viruses enters the body. Dengue can also be transmitted from one human to another. It can also be transmitted to one human to another. It means if one person is infected by the dengue virus, he can transfer this dengue virus to another human being. For example, how it happens? Infected blood used in a blood transfusion can cause dengue. It means if a person is having dengue fever, or he can give the blood to another patient during the blood transfusion, because his blood is also infected with the dengue virus. When this blood is transfused to another person, then he can also get that dengue virus in his body. It can also be caused by organ donation. It is another cause of dengue. That is, if a person who is having the dengue, he donates his organ to another human being, and by the organ donation, the person gets dengue, and can even be transmitted from the mother to the child. And it can also be transmitted if the mother is having the dengue fever, then she transfers the dengue viruses to the child. Okay. Now, what happens when the virus enters the body? Once the virus enters the body, it circulates around the body. It moves here and there because it enters into the blood. It moves here and there around the body and attacking the white blood cells and other antibodies. Now, you should remember that malaria, or you can say malarial parasite, infects the red blood cells. But the virus which causes the dengue, it attacks the white blood cells. Remember this point. and it attacks the white blood cells and the other antibodies. Antibodies are actually the protein substances which which help us to fight against the diseases. Okay, so it means it is attacking or affecting our immune system, thus affecting the immune system because it is attacking the white blood cells. White blood cells are actually the army of our body. So it means dengue virus is attacking our immune system and makes our immune system weaker and weaker. The virus further replicates within the cell. Replicates means reproduces or make the copy or duplications within the cell until the cells burst and dies. Now, what happened? The virus, when enters the white blood cells, it replicates itself inside it, or it makes its copies inside the cell. And when there are many viruses um, there in the cell bursts and dies. Okay, in this way, it kills the cells. The death of the white blood cells results in leakage of other fluids from the cells. Actually, when the white blood cells are died, then they cause some other problems in the body. The first one is the leakage of other fluids from the cells. The cells, the fluids present in the cells, they become there is leakage of them, leading to low protein. And what happened after that? The protein uh, is becomes low in the body. Fluid in the lungs. In the lungs, there will be fluid accumulation, and in the stomach area, fluid also accumulates in the stomach area as well. Low blood pressure. There, this is another symptom. Blood pressure becomes low of the patient. Shock. The patient become in shock and eventually death. He has got the shock at last and eventually death. It means it is a very severe problem because if dengue viruses enters the body and they affects our immune system, it results eventually in the death. So it should be treated very efficiently. Now there are some signs and symptoms which which occur in the body of the patient of dengue virus. The first one is high fever, which is followed by severe body pain. Okay, it means high fever is also occurs in malaria, but there was no pain in the body. But in dengue, high fever is followed by severe body pain. Pain behind the eyes and decreased urine output is also common. These are another symptoms that the pain behind the eyes is very much common in dengue fever, and urine output is also decreased. Dengue related eye pain often increases with bright light. What happens when there is a bright light? Then if a person is having dengue, then the pain in the eyes or behind the eyes becomes more. Patients may also feel some respiratory difficulties, that means the lung infections, and intense headache. Intense headache means very severe headache. Now students, are you hearing me again? There is a continuous net problem today. So there is a lot of disturbances today. But please, we are continuing our lecture. So please listen to me very carefully. I was telling you about the signs and symptoms of dengue virus or dengue fever. Now there is high fever. I have told you with some other symptoms like pain behind the eyes and the respiratory difficulties and intense headache. But when the fever decreases, skin rashes may start to appear. Okay, it is also very common. When the fever decreases, then skin rashes may start to appear. Another symptom is excessive bleeding, the increased bleeding from the body. As the virus attacks the capillaries, the smallest blood vessels in the body. I think you all know that there are three kinds of blood vessels: arteries, veins, and capillaries. So this virus, when it continues its infection, that it attacks the capillaries, which are the smallest blood vessels, and when the capillaries burst, blood escapes from the bloodstream. What happens? It attacks the capillaries and it causes the bursting of the capillaries. When the capillaries burst, the blood came out from the bloodstream and it causes the excessive bleeding inside the body. In severe cases, what Now, what happened when the bleeding exceeds inside the body? What happened? Bleeding is common in the nose. It occurs in the nose and gums. The bleeding occurs in the nose and the gums, the part with the tooth. The loss of blood can lead to decreased blood pressure. Because of the loss of excessive blood inside the body, the blood pressure becomes decreased and may eventually lead to internal bleeding, shock and death. What happened? Because of the low blood pressure, there will be shock and death of the patient occurs. So it means it is also a very severe disease. Now I want to discuss the third one, which is again caused by malaria, mosquito, sorry, chikungunya. The causes are, this virus is also transmitted through mosquitoes. I have told you in the beginning that all the three diseases are caused by mosquitoes. These mosquitoes live and breed near stagnant or polluted water and infect humans with their bite. Similar thing happen here, that mosquitoes carries these virus. It is also caused by a virus in their saliva, and when they bite the human being, the virus enters into the body of the patient. And these mosquitoes live and breed near stagnant or polluted water. You should know that polluted means the water which is full of impurities. Stagnant means the still water. If the water is present or is still in our surroundings, then dengue virus grows there and then infects the human beings. Although the disease is not contagious, contagious means it cannot spread from one person to another, but sometimes it happens. It can spread from an infected person to others if the mosquito feeds on the infected person first and then bites other people. What happened? The disease is not contagious. It cannot transfer from one human to another, but there is only a one case when the disease is transferred from one person to another. If the same mosquito bites one person, feeds on the blood of the one person, and then the same mosquito bites another person. Because when it feeds on the person who is having chikungunya, it takes the blood, and then when it bites the other person, then it transfers the blood which is having the virus into another human body. I hope you are understanding. The chikungunya virus infects the muscle cells of the body. It is not infecting red blood cells or the white blood cells, but it infects the muscle cells of the body. It stays there and reproduces until the cell dies. What happens when it infects the muscle cells? It grows there, it reproduces inside the cell, and after that, the cell dies. It then finds a new host cell to infect. Then one cell, if the muscle cell, it reproduces in the muscle cell. When that cell dies, it enters another muscle cell, that is called the new host cell, and infect it. I hope you are understanding, because it is a very interesting topic. There are some signs and symptoms given for chikungunya. Chikungunya usually attacks the muscles, joints, skin, connective tissues, and even the central nervous system. These are some of the parts of the human body which are attacked by chikungunya virus, like muscles, joints, skin, connective tissues, and central nervous system. It is usually accompanied by fever and skin rash. Fever occurs in all the three kinds of diseases. But you know that in dengue, skin rashes appear when the fever decreases. But here in chikungunya, skin rashes appear with the fever. The skin rashes are almost identical to the dengue rashes. The skin rashes are very much similar to the rashes caused by dengue. The patients may also suffer from headache, nausea, vomiting. These are some of the other symptoms. Because the virus destroys cells in the muscles and the joints, patients experience muscle weakness and joint pain. Because I have already told you that chikungunya virus attack the muscles and the joints, so the patient feel muscle weakness and joint pain, which can be severe, which can become severe as well. Partial loss of taste is also reported by many chikungunya patients. It is another symptom, partial loss of taste, that patient cannot taste well, but it can occur in some of the patients. So it is not so much common symptom. The disease is rarely fatal. Rarely fatal. Fatal means which can cause death. It means chikungunya virus can be treated easily and it cannot cause death of the patient. And the virus remains in the system for 5 to 7 days. Within 5 to 7 days, the virus remains in the body. And once one recovers from this infection, one is immune to it for the rest of one's life. That means immune, that is the meaning. I want to tell you that immune means whenever a person got the infection, whenever a person gets the infection of chikungunya virus, or when after the treatment he become immune to this infection, that means that the antibodies against chikungunya are developed inside the body of the person, and he cannot get chikungunya again in his whole life. I think you can understand the word immune, that the person is immune or become resistant to that disease forever. Now there is another heading given in your textbook, that some similarities and differences in the signs and symptoms of the three diseases. I have told you that some symptoms are very much similar and some are very much different. So you should know about these signs and symptoms. The chikungunya virus is transmitted by the same mosquitoes that spread the dengue virus. It can also spread by the same mosquito that can cause dengue virus. It means the mosquito can carry more than two type of viruses at the same time. Both chikungunya and dengue have almost identical symptoms. It means similar symptoms and the diseases processes. Everything, most of the things are common in chikungunya and dengue. So much that one can be mistaken for the other. That if the test or laboratory test cannot be performed, that the person can not identify these two diseases. Both display joint pain. In both the diseases, chikungunya and dengue, joint pain occurs. However, joint pain and inflammation caused by chikungunya are more intense and pronounced. It means the pain is more severe in chikungunya. On the other hand, low platelet count, high bleeding risk, and pain behind the eyes are the main symptoms of dengue. These are the main symptoms of dengue, which can be identified easily, that high bleeding risk, low platelet count, and pain behind the eyes. These are the common symptoms of dengue. Low platelet count cannot occur in chikungunya. Now, the main symptoms of malaria are chills, shivering, followed by fever and sweating. And these symptoms usually occur every 2 days. This is also the most common thing in malaria, that chills, shivering, fever and sweating, they occur usually after every 2 days. Okay, now the main thing, how to prevent these diseases. There are some points for prevention of these diseases. Listen to me very carefully. These are very much important points because these diseases are very common nowadays. Since there are no vaccines or medical ways to prevent these diseases, actually these are viral diseases and parasitical diseases, so there is no vaccine or medical treatment actually present here, and because of that we have to do the prevention. Here are few useful suggestions for protecting oneself from these diseases. Some useful suggestions for the protection against these diseases are: wear clothes that will keep you fully covered. It means you have to wear the clothes which are fully covered. Do not open any area of your part of the body. Use net coverings to protect you from the mosquitoes. Live in hygienic conditions or hygienic surroundings. It means you have to uh, keep your areas or surroundings clean. Ensure that there is no stagnant water, whether clean or dirty, in your locality, not even in uncovered buckets, pots, cans, or other things. Do not store water in the buckets, pots, cans, or other things if it is uncovered. And there should be no still water or stagnant water in your surrounding anywhere where can mosquitoes can grow and reproduce, so that you can protect yourself if there is no stagnant water in your surrounding. Apply good quality mosquito repellent solution, lotion, or any one of the natural repellent products. It means you can apply some of the products of mosquito repellent on your bodies as well, or uncovered parts of your body. Take extra precautions from dawn to dusk. Dawn to dusk means from the early morning till evening, because at that time actually the mosquitoes are in our surroundings mostly. Seek medical help as soon as possible if you can find some of the symptoms like malaria, dengue, and chikungunya. So go and consult the doctor immediately. All these diseases, that is malaria, dengue, and chikungunya, affect a person's health. They affect the quality of one's work because it takes some time to recover from the weakness caused by them. Since they are all preventable and curable, it is important that we take all possible steps to protect ourselves and our family from these diseases. Moreover, we should seek immediate help from the medical personnel if you observe symptoms of these diseases, because the earlier they are treated, the quicker is the recovery. I hope you have understood everything very well. These are the curable diseases, but if we observe the symptoms, we have to consult with the doctor immediately so that we can treat ourselves as early as possible. Okay, I hope you have understood everything. Now I want to give you a review of these diseases as well, so that you can understand everything more clearly. Hope you have understood everything. Now I'm giving you a quick review of malaria, some causes and signs and symptoms. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium. I have told you it is a parasite, and it is transmitted by infected mosquitoes which carry these plasmodiums or the parasite in their saliva. Plasmodium is injected into a person's circulatory system through the saliva. I've already told you. And Plasmodium infects the red blood cells and kills them. Remember this thing. It affects the red blood cells. There are some signs and symptoms. Fever, high fever. I have told you 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Chills and shivering, sweating, constipation, kidney dysfunction, and disorientation. These are some of the common symptoms of malaria. Now I want to give you a review of dengue. Dengue is caused by an infected mosquito which spreads the dengue virus through its saliva when it bites. It means mosquito carries the virus in its saliva. Dengue virus enters the body and circulates around the body, and it attacks the white blood cells and other antibodies and kills. Now dengue virus attacks the white blood cells. I have already told you, and kills them. Now there are some symptoms of dengue virus. Now hope you are understanding. Some symptoms are high fever, body pain, severe body pain, pain behind the eyes, decreased urine output, respiratory difficulties, intense headache, and excessive bleeding. Now I'm giving you a quick review of chikungunya. Chikungunya virus is transmitted through an infected mosquito which infects humans with their bite. These mosquitoes live near stagnant or polluted water. Chikungunya virus infects the muscle cells of the body and kills them. There are some signs and symptoms: fever, skin rash, headache, nausea, vomiting, and muscle weakness and joint pain. Hope you have understood all three diseases, their signs and symptoms, their causes, everything. If you have got any problem, then you can ask me. This is very much interesting topic. You should understand about everything clearly, and you should be very much careful about these mosquitoes in your surroundings. So please be careful, live in hygienic conditions. I have told you about some preventive measures, how to prevent yourself from these diseases. I hope you have understood everything very well. Now I will upload the assignment and the video of this lecture. So please go through it and complete everything in time. Now I'm closing this lecture today at that moment. I hope there is a lot of problem in internet connection today. I hope you have still understood everything and you